Hello and welcome back to Cake. How food is presented is just as important as how it tastes. Whether you're preparing a 3-course meal or serving delivered pizza, you can make the experience of coming together to a dining table an enjoyable and memorable one. So I thought I would show you how I made this Christmas centerpiece and give you 5 tips in setting up your own centerpiece. Before I get started, please consider pressing the like button as you're watching if you enjoy this content. It's a big help for small channels like mine. Alright, now let's get started with the 5 things to consider when creating a centerpiece. Number 1, make it about love. Putting together a centerpiece is a small gesture that lets your guests immediately know you want them to feel welcome, you want them to feel at home, and you want them to take pleasure in the aesthetics of it all. I'll be leaving my centerpiece on the table throughout the month because it gives me the same warm feelings that I want my guests to have. Number 2, consider the shape and size of your table. If you have a round table, the centerpiece is going to be visible from every angle, so likely your centerpiece is probably going to be round and it's going to have to be aesthetically pleasing from every angle. Have fun in playing with geometric shapes like square dinner plates and chargers. For a rectangular centerpiece, you're more likely going to have a centerpiece that has a start and end point, and generally you have more room for a larger centerpiece. Here are 2 great examples. To the left, you have a round dining table with fresh cut flowers in the middle that's going to be beautiful to look at from every angle. And you also have these fun geometric or square plates. To the right, you have a rectangular dining table and a very small centerpiece, which is also rectangular in shape. They could have used the space here a little bit more and made a larger centerpiece, but if you are a less is more kind of person, then this would be exactly what you would do. Number 3, consider the number of guests and the positioning of your food before you create the centerpiece. This will let you know how much space you have and avoid over-cramming the table. Number 4, bring in seasonal and natural elements. During Christmas, these could be pine cones, or in my case, smaller cut branches of a Christmas tree. During fall, you could use pumpkins, and pretty much throughout the entire year, you can integrate fresh cut flowers. My last point to consider before creating a centerpiece is identify your 3 to 4 main colors, and repeat those colors throughout your table setting and your centerpiece. You could also use just a single color and varied in different shades, kind of like an ombre effect. And finally, I would encourage you to use elements of different heights, because height just adds another dimension to the whole thing and makes it just more interesting to look at. Now, with that, let's get started in recreating my Christmas centerpiece. We just got our Christmas tree and we're able to pick up these 2 extra branches from the tree farm. I'm cutting them down a bit, some smaller and some larger pieces. I ended up using all of the pieces that came from these 2 branches. Our dining table has a dark brown color and shows some serious wear and tear. So a white tablecloth not only covers the flaws, but also brings in a bright background that provides a great contrast for the centerpiece. I like to hold it all down with clips to make sure that things don't move as people naturally pull at the cloth. So now I start with the 2 ends of the centerpiece. I identify where it should essentially start and end and use the larger branches to set those ends. Then I connect the sides by bringing in the smaller pieces and continue filling the gaps with the smaller branches. To bring in the element of height, I'm using these 2 candlestick holders which I got off of Amazon. I would have preferred them to be of equal size, but this worked too. I made sure that at least one of my main colors was represented here, so you see the gold. And I placed these towards the ends of the centerpiece and covered them with branches. You can't go wrong by bringing in candles and fresh flowers into a centerpiece. I got these dark red ones from IKEA and the golden ones on Amazon. These all have different heights, so rather than putting all the tall ones together, I kind of mixed and matched so that each cluster has about the same average height as the other two. For a bit of shimmer, and because it's Christmas, I'm integrating just a few ornaments. These are a bit older and were also from IKEA. These are my next decorative pieces. I'm using some tea lights. Both the glass holder and the dark red candle are IKEA products, and the cones I collected in past years. The plain ones I baked in the oven to make sure I wouldn't have any insects crawling out of the table, so that's a tip if you try to do this as well. The gold cone is a special gift from a friend of mine. I've been using it year after year in all of my decorations. So these smaller pieces are ideal because it helps me fill in some of the smaller gaps. Fresh flowers are ideal, but there are benefits to faux flowers as well. For one, I'm able to match the exact color I'm looking for, and two, the centerpiece can last much longer. These two are products of IKEA as well. Each stem has about 3 flowers, and I'm cutting them off with scissors. The last piece of my centerpiece is this golden bead chain garland, which is intended to go around a Christmas tree. I got this one from IKEA as well. It's a bit too long for the centerpiece, so I'm just cutting it in half. The beads actually added a lot of interest to this decoration. Your eyes now follow along the beads from one end to another, so you don't have these individual ornaments that are sitting on the branches, but have an element that essentially connects them all together. This is exactly what it's supposed to do in a Christmas tree as well. So now my centerpiece is done. I'm going to set up the table with some gold chargers, white plates, red napkins, and gold silverware. Again, I try to repeat the colors of the centerpiece in my functional pieces of the table setting. That's it, I'm all done with my beautiful Christmas centerpiece. I hope you guys enjoyed these instructions and I hope you found the tips useful. Let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you for watching and see you next time.